For 10,000 years, they have been frozen silent, encased in the
Their magnificent presence, a defining feature of the Ice Age, was lost to the history books. But today, the laws of nature are being rewritten. The impossible is happening.
In this exclusive deep dive, we will embark on a temporal journey spanning millennia. You will discover the incredible genetic secrets that allowed the mammoth to defy the brutal cold of the Ice Age.
The controversial and detailed mechanics of the De-Extinction project using CRISPR technology. And most critically, why the return of the mammoth might be our last, best weapon in the war against modern climate change. Welcome to Prehistoric Planet 3D, where we use state-of-the-art visuals to resurrect the Earth's most profound mysteries.
Do not miss a moment of this incredible story.
Our journey begins not in a world endless.
It was a flourishing, high-productivity grassland that stretched from modern-day Spain across Eurasia.
And the undisputed monarch of this colossal landscape was Mammothus primigenius, the woolly mammoth. Imagine a living creature perfectly sculpted by the harshest natural forces. Its thick, dark brown or ginger coat, sometimes reaching 3 feet in length, acted as a dynamic insulator. Its ears were tiny, adapted to minimize heat loss, and its signature curved tusks were not merely for display.
They were the greatest survivors of their time, perfectly attuned to the Pleistocene world. Yet, even the perfect survivor meets its end. Around 10,000 years ago, this incredible kingdom began to collapse. First, the rapid global warming caused the steppe to shrink, replaced by less nutritious forests and swammy tundra. The last scattered population, isolated on Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean, finally succumbed around 4,000.
For millennia, their existence was reduced to massive, fossilized bones and folklore.
The permafrost of Siberia acts as nature's ultimate deep freeze chamber. Unlike fossilization, which replaces
Imagine the sheer shock of scientists uncovering specimens like Luba, a baby mammoth found almost perfectly intact.
Or Yucca, a juvenile whose long, ginger hair and well-preserved muscle tissue provided the first tangible connection to the past.
These frozen tombs are not just graves. They are the ultimate time capsules. Within the perfect...
Retrieving these ancient fragments, often damaged and broken, became the first monumental step towards rewriting its destiny.
The discovery of a frozen carcass provides the physical evidence of the mammoth's existence. But the true secret...
Yet, this is precisely what a small, dedicated arm of geneticists managed to achieve through advanced sequencing technology.
Gradually, a full picture of the woolly mammoth's genetic identity began to emerge.
The revelations were astonishing, confirming the mammoth's supreme adaptation to the Ice Age world. The scientific. For instance, they identified genes responsible for the regulation of fats and cholesterol, allowing the mammoth to...
Imagine having an internal antifreeze system. That was the mammoth's inherited gift.
Furthermore, the genome revealed the secrets of its impressive insulation. They found the genetic switches controlling the development.
Yet, in a brightly lit, high-security laboratory in Boston, a team of visionary scientists and ambitious entrepreneurs.
But perhaps the most important discovery was the identification of the mammoth's closest living relative, the Asian elephant.
This genetic kinship is the fundamental key to the entire de-extinction project.
So, why is this connection so critical? Because to bring the mammoth back,
Instead, they must use the Asian elephant as the foundational template, the base code, and then meticulously edit
the Asian elephant's cellular structure, its reproductive system, and its massive
Yet, in a brightly lit, high-security laboratory in Boston, a team of visionary scientists and ambitious entrepreneurs
But how do you teach an Asian elephant's cell to behave like a mammoth's? The answer lies in a technological breakthrough.
Imagine a word processor for DNA. That is essentially what CRISPR is. We can think of it as a pair of
Scientists use this system to identify specific locations in the Asian elephant's genome, those regions that control hair. This is not crude cloning. This is incredibly refined genetic editing. The process is meticulously planned.
The end result will be a hybrid.
First. However, the scientific hurdles are not simply about editing genes. They are about the sanctity of
The Asian elephant has a massive gestation periods, and the moral implications.
Critics argue that the resources and effort should be entirely devoted to protecting existing elephant populations.
Colossal's revolutionary answer is to bypass nature entirely through artificial gestation. They are investing heavily in creating.
This would be a game changer, eliminating the ethical dilemma of using live surrogates and opening the door to potential
sensitive. The entire project is a high-stakes, multi-million-dollar gamble. It forces us to confront: are we correcting a past mistake, or are we simply succumbing to the temptation of technological hubris?
The possibility of seeing a woolly mammoth breathing and walking the earth again is no longer a dream.
The immense technical and ethical risks of this project demand a compelling justification.
The answer to us, according to Dr. Church and the Colossal team, is not mere nostalgia.
Our chosen angle frames the mammoth not as a historical relic, but as an ecological savior. To understand this, we must return to the mammoth steppe. This ecosystem, where large herbivores, the constant trampling, grazing, and digging by these megafauna prevented the growth of insuling shrubs and trees.
Today, the permafrost is in grave danger. As the Arctic warms, the layer is beginning to thaw rapidly. Trapped within this frozen soil are vast quantities of ancient, potent greenhouse gases.
The theory behind Pleistocene Park, a Russian initiative strongly supported by the De-Extinction project, suggests by transforming the tundra back into nutrient-rich grassland, the mammoth steppe, the giant herbivores will.
Essentially, the woolly mammoth becomes a biological engineer.
This profound ecological objective elevates the debate, yet it does not silence the critics. The ethical dilemma remains stark.
Is it responsible to invest so heavily in a technologically complex, long-shot endeavor when thousands of... Are we diverting limited conservation funds from species we know we can save for a future we can only hope to create?
we correcting a past wrong, or are we simply exerting ultimate technological dominion over nature?
And, ultimately, by whether its monumental return can help save the living world it is being brought back to inhabit. We have traveled a distance not measured in miles, but in millennia. From the chilling the woolly mammoth, once a ghost of the Ice Age, is poised to become a pioneer of our future.
Whether you view the act as a necessary salvation.
Extinction is no longer an absolute terminus. It may simply be a profound challenge that modern science is determined to meet.
The mammoth's legacy is not just about survival in the cold. It is about our willingness to intervene, to...
The clock is ticking, and the ethical lines are blurring.
The time window is closing for the Arctic. What are your thoughts on this monumental scientific effort?
The time machine of discovery is always open here.